And Mind Crypto here. I hope we're all having a wonderful day, and the title of the video is What You Don't Know. Remember, please subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any further videos, and also hit that like button. It takes a millisecond and you'll be doing me a massive favour. Remembering, none of this is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, and you should not use any of the information as a signal to buy or sell. This is just my personal opinion. Anyhow, so we look at the crypto bubbles, and as we can see, there's a few big runs here. Lunk up 47%, wow, and everything else seems a little bit red. Some degen play there, and we are ranked 49 with a market cap of $1.19 billion, with a quant price of $98.77. So that's down from yesterday, with a 24-hour volume of $23 million. So we are up 0.2% in the hour, down 3.8% in the day, down 1.8% in the week. But as you know, this doesn't bother me in the slightest because I am here for the long run. But we look at the crypto quant and we look at the current supply on exchanges, and as we can see, it's slightly risen from yesterday where it was below that 1.4 million. It's just over that 1.4 million, but I think it's actually holding well, because if we look over here, we can see the exchange net flow total, and we can see, look, 1,716 quant has made an inflow into the exchanges, and obviously there's an amount coming out. So I think it's quite balanced today, even though we've seen a bit of a price drop. And as we can see here from Bullshark Trading for our trade analysis, price approaching the short-term and mid-term POCs, red and blue lines, which I'll show you in a minute. These haven't yet been mitigated, so we could see buyers step in and either defend this level or push price up. Still trading inside the accumulation box with sell-side liquidity at the lower low, a possible target. A further move down from there, and we want short sellers to target the area of $85 to $86.5. If price reaches this area, we should see buying pressure step into the market and push price back to the upside. Note there will be liquidity just below them levels, and we wouldn't be surprised if we see a wick to take them out. And as we can see here, very interesting approach as well. We can see these nodes, we can see the short-term timeline, we can see this node here which is in the red, and that will possibly meet that node, and then we could see buyout and we'll see a move upwards. Very interesting take on the market. I know that Bullshark Trading looks at more institutional TA, which is why I like his TA so much. So we see this absolutely awesome tweet from Tokenizer, and he says here, I don't think 99% of people realize that this has been the most bullish year for quant. And he's absolutely right. While PA may say otherwise, we're talking about long-term fundamentals here, and that's exactly what I look at. The retail FUD you will see on crypto Twitter means nothing. We're starting to see the vision come to fruition. Here's quant in 2023, and I think this is really important, that we look at the longevity of where we're at and where we're moving to, rather than looking at the price movement as it is at the moment. And I talk about that a lot because I think people need to realize that quant is already at certain levels where other coins are catching up. So we can see that right off the bat in January, we got a huge announcement that's been long awaited. This was the live release of LACChain, as it's now in full production and has since expanded to additional applications and validators in the US and EU. Currently there are under 9 million transactions on LACChain, quite impressive to say the least. Keep in mind that it's only been 11 months. TRX has 6.7 million total transactions. Their mainnet started in 2018. FET has 50 million transactions. Their mainnet launched in 2018, and ICP has 7.2 million transactions, and their mainnet started in 2021. Needless to say, LACChain has been quite the success in the first year alone, and we haven't even seen the real critical deployments yet. Already, over 8 million citizens' lives have been benefited through LACChain. Just most recently, LACnet, the coordinator for LACChain, has gotten approved to join the Class A liaison member to the ISO TC 307. We talked a bit about this yesterday. This is, of course, the standard for blockchain and DLT, founded by none other than Quant CEO Gilbert Verdian, and has had lots of collaboration from several different members over, I think it's around about 57 members. But who could have guessed LangChain could have been overshadowed by even larger developments? Imagine that the largest permission DLT utilizing Quant was overshadowed by something. If you told me this in January 2023, I probably wouldn't have believed you. So what is it that overshadowed LangChain? It's due to the fact that the Bank of International Settlements, BIS, had directly quoted Quant and Overledger. In fact, not just quoting it, but even saying that the CBDC architecture is enabled by Overledger. This was initially seen on June the 16th with the public announcement of Project Rosalind. Now this was quite an interesting period of time because between the launch of LangChain to the reveal of Rosalind, there wasn't all too much coming from Quant's end. PR and marketing had seemed like it had taken a back seat as they focused on other things, though nobody could have guessed what they were truly working on as this news was groundbreaking. This was the first time we saw a BIS CBDC platform directly using and mentioning Overledger. While we've previously seen API gateways within various CBDC documents, nothing does it quite like official confirmation. In fact, just 2 weeks after the release of Project Rosalind, the BIS had created the framework for the Unified Ledger. This framework is quite similar to the Project Rosalind, as the Unified Ledger approach also utilizes APIs between the systems to connect and unify together. Could Project Rosalind have inspired this? Well, it seems like Project Rosalind has been quite the inspiration for CBDCs, as they've also inspired Project Stellar to take the same framework. Project Stellar is between the BIS, Hong Kong Monetary Authority, and the Central Bank of Israel. Project Rosalind brought forth an unprecedented method to ensure a full functioning CBDC ecosystem, one where users, businesses and banks could efficiently operate seamlessly across different systems. But this still doesn't exactly fit the Unified Ledger, though one of the newer BIS CBDCs takes this approach further to truly test the Unified Ledger framework with Quant in mind. This is the EKRW between the Bank of Korea and BIS. Not only do they directly state that they'll be testing tokenized money and tokenized assets on a unified ledger, but they're directly name-dropped SATP, the same standard that Quant and MIT are working on. And we saw this the other day in the video when I was talking about Carsten's talking about laying out the foundations and his blueprint for the future. And Tokenizer goes on to say exactly what enterprises are after. But it's not just with the BIS either. We also saw Quant join UK Finance on panel discussing the implications of the digital pound. This was joined alongside executives, Citi, BIS and the Bank of England. Quant joined UK Finance as an associate member back in late October. But one would think they previously connected at some point given some overlaps. UK Finance tested the Regulated Liability Network, RLN, which we talked about before, model for UK financial infrastructure with EY. The RLN and Unified Ledger share the same goals in being a single share DLT for all things money, assets and deposits. With UK Finance and EY's report, we saw something quite similar, an integration gateway. The gateway would connect banks, payment service providers and more. Sounds exactly like how SATP and Overledger have modelled the framework for their API gateways, he says here. We also saw Quant finally get one of their patents approved that they had initially filed all the way back in 2017. This patent is for blockchain communications and ordering. Or in simpler terms, it's enabled Quant to propose and set universal time zone for DLT as a whole, because currently the lack of standardized block time means there are countless different variations in speed for block generation. This becomes an increasingly larger issue as enterprises look to adopt multi-chain utilities. Initially, we saw the only patent approved by the Japanese Patent Office on July 31st. But in less than 12 hours, we proceeded to see China, US and the World Intellectual Properties Office, UN, all approve the patent afterwards. Quite interesting how that was coordinated. The patent just further adds to Quant's array of different counterparts of the DLT world they're looking to standardize to be fit for industry use. But while we're on the topic of standards and look at perhaps the most significant development for Quant overall, this is of course the fact that secure asset transfer protocol protocol, SATP, was officially added to the Internet Engineering Task Force, the IETF working group. IETF working groups are primarily a mechanism for developing of the IETF specifications and guidelines, with the general majority of these eventually turning into standards like TCP, IP, for example. Since the P and MIT have continued to see growing support and attention for SATP, as we've now seen countless large entities all over taking part in these IETF meetings. Some have even gone as far as using SATP framework in their patents for network communications, like how IBM has. And we can see here Swift, Cisco, Ethereum, Microsoft, Dell, Juniper, NSA, UCLA, SDX, USDOD, EY, Google, HP Enterprise, and Deutsche Telekom. He could go on, but it's clear that SATP is drawing eyes from the biggest names in and out of the industry. The pieces are now fully in place. Now we let the game come to us. And that's exactly that. And this is what I've been harping on about. But this thread absolutely nails it. So absolutely awesome from Tokenizer. And I love the way he puts it together. Nice story there. And actually finishes it off with an absolute banger. So there you go, guys. We're seeing the price go sideways. But I think that rabbit is going to bolt from its hole at some point out of this sphere and into the world of opportunity. So there you go. Please subscribe, please hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any further videos, and I'll catch you later.